thinking about the actual implementation itself and that digital transformation task at hand, with that massive transformation across your entire community, we spoke about 400,000 members, over 1,400 clubs and delivery partners. Considering the complexity and the nuances and the requirement of your sporting community, could you elaborate on the overall implementation process and the time needed to go live with JustGo?
Yeah, absolutely. I think software projects like this will kind of expand to fill whatever time you give it. But unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of time with our project. We historically run on membership years, renew each year. And so currently we're going through renewal of one of those years. Now, we've made a change with our membership structure, so we're no longer having years, but we always have this massive peak, September, October, where the vast majority of our members come to the system. So we had this big spike to get done by then. And really, we need to get it done probably a couple of months before then, so that it can be embedded, tested, ready for supporting our home nations, so Scotland as well, involved in the system, and Wales, and getting them on board and getting everything working for them as best we can. So we had a very tight deadline of probably about 5 to 6 months to change the beating heart of the business at Gymnastics. So it was a very tight deadline to do it, and it took, I would say, almost the entire business to do it at our end. And the amount of people I've spoken to JustGo, I think quite a large part of JustGo this as well. So it was a lot of work and a lot of meetings and planning sessions and scoping sessions. And really at our end, we're very, I don't know whether we're very inspired by how the business came together. People from every department got involved in it, and everyone understood, from senior leadership team down to everyone else in the business, of like how important this is, how much time this requires, and how much focus we need to give it. And so I think from our end, there was a real massive effort to do this well, and it felt like that was matched to JustGo. That I infamously, I think some of your guys, I was on calls with for 6-7 hours a day. Different teams on my end rotating through, and we had hours and hours and hours of calls. But that was all about you guys trying to understand us. And I think a lot of the time was spent on us trying to explain ourselves to you, and you understand what we're trying to do. It wasn't a case of, as I said at the start, here's software, go and do it. There was a genuine and dedicated effort from you guys to understand what we were trying to do, not only in the sport, but obviously we're going through our Reform 25 plan, we're going through our strategy complete without limits, and we were trying to do new things with our membership base, with business, and you guys just got on board with all that. And there were long, arduous days, and there was rounds and round and round, but you were always with us on that journey. And I think, the guys who we worked with at JustGo were great in managing that, helping the structure when things were happening. And I think it was very well ordered. But yeah, it was my life for 6 months. With my team and the wide business, this was really good. And truly, without burying the lead here, it went very well. I mean, launched it went well. We've had, there's always a few teething problems, change management of this, but on the whole, we hit our deadline, we went live, our members are going through it, we've had no massive issues. And I think for me, all that work we put in at the start to understand ourselves and you paid off. I mean, there's an old proverb about cutting down a tree 2 hours, spend the first hour sharpening the axe. And that's what it felt like. It's that we spent so much time not in the system, but just talking about how we work, what we were trying to achieve, both technically and culturally, and being able to express that to you guys, and then have it come back in a way that we're like, clearly they've got what we're saying here. And when there were last minute changes, or actually we didn't explain as well, it was always okay. Refocus. How can we do this? There was never a, and I'm sure it was probably felt in the background, but never a BG have changed their minds again. It was always kind of really collegiate, really supportive.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Rob. And from JustGo's perspective, to go back to that word that you started with, that partner that you were looking for, that partnership piece has been evident throughout that process. And the deadline was tight. That was a 6-month to go live deadline. So kudos to you and your team at British Gymnastics, and what a strong partnership it's been to date. And long may it continue.